It's almost
Oh, you've got a
4:59.
minute. Yeah, and that one up there says 5. He's doing it right by the clock.
Don't expect us to start early all the time then, if you.
Pretty quiet in here.
All right. Bob, you ready?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
Yeah, me? All right. We'll open the closed session meeting on March 23rd, 2026. The time is 5. Madam Clerk, we call roll call.
Councilmember Miller,
Here.
Councilmember Thorpe,
Here.
Councilmember Woolsey,
Here.
Deputy Mayor Bieber,
Here.
Mayor Venable,
Here.
all present.
All right. Any public comment?
No public comments.
All right. We'll move to closed session.
Mayor?
Yes,
I need one comment before we go to closed session.
Okay.
I will be recusing on item A, per the case. I live close to the development, so I will be recusing. I'll just stay in here. If somebody come and get me when you're done, I'd appreciate it.
Okay. All right. We have council member. Well, time is 5 o'clock. We got, oh, I'm over. John, you ready? John, I'm Bob. John, I'm getting it. All right, we'll open the regular council meeting on March 23rd, 2026. Time is 6:04. The invocation was William. And then after that, let's see. Ben Matlock, you want to lead us in the pledge after that?
So we do the prayer first?
Yes, sir.
Amen. Well, I'm so pleased and feel so honored to be here. And I love what it says, in God we trust. So we're going to pray to trust the Lord. Amen. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this beautiful evening. Thank you for allowing us to be together to seek your will for Yucaipa and Calimesa and the rest of the cities, Father God, as we can be able to be a blessing. And I pray that today you lead our ways, the city council, the mayor, and the whole team, Father God. I just pray for blessings, wisdom, unity, harmony, Father God, protection for our city as well. We ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Oh.
Right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin.
Thank you. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Miller,
Here.
Councilmember Thorpe,
Here.
Councilmember Woolsey,
Here.
Deputy Mayor Bieber,
Here.
Mayor Venable,
Here.
all present.
Mr. Attorney, is there anything to report out in closed session?
Yes, Mayor. For the three items that we had on item number one, direction was given by consensus with Councilmember Miller recused. On item two, direction was given by consensus unanimously. On the third item on closed session, direction was given by a vote of 3-2, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Moore, is there any changes to the agenda?
Mayor, Council, no changes to the agenda.
All right, now we have the fire department badge.
All right. Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council members. A firefighter's badge is more than a piece of metal, it's symbolic. It is a symbol of public trust. The badge is a visible reminder that our community has given our firefighters the authority and the responsibility to protect lives and property. It displays our commitment to service. The badge is a visible display representing the firefighter's oath that they have taken to uphold the highest standards of professionalism, integrity, and courage. The badge isn't just a decoration, it's an entry into a lifelong identity. For firefighters, the badge is who they are. On or off duty, it's who we look to when there's an emergency. They have no off switch. The badge pinning is a long-standing fire service tradition. It serves several important purposes. It is earned, not given. The firefighters here have worked, sweat, bled, and sacrificed, as well as their families, to be here. A badge pinning reinforces the values that keep a department cohesive: teamwork, discipline, and pride in the mission. It honors the family. Firefighting is a family commitment. Loved ones support firefighters through long hours, missed holidays, and the emotional weight of the job. Including them in this ceremony recognizes their role in our firefighters' success. I want to honor them as the fire chief. I want to honor them. I want to convey my gratitude to them and their families to protecting our city, my city. It doesn't go unnoticed, and I truly appreciate their service and their commitment. So tonight I'm going to present 3 City of Yucaipa Fire Department Cal Fire firefighters with their badge. So first we have Fire Captain Ken Grove. So Fire Captain Ken Grove started with Cal Fire in 2013. He has worked here previously as a firefighter in Yucaipa, and now he returns to the promotion of Fire Captain on the relief shift, which means he works at all 3 stations. He's joined by his wife, Sarah, of 22 years, as well as daughter, Abby and Brianna. They are Yucaipians and attend Wildwood Christian Academy. Fire Captain Ken Grove will be pinned by his daughter, Abby. All right, so fire apparatus engineer Christopher Palladino started in EMS in 1999. So he starts every day with ibuprofen, trust me. He had worked fire and EMS in 5 states prior to starting with CAL FIRE in 2018. So Chris has spent the last 8 years as a firefighter paramedic in our Highland City contract. He was successful on our last promotional test, one I sat on the panel on. He came in very, very eager, and you could tell he studied his butt off to get where he was. And he promoted to engineer paramedic at our Wildwood Fire Station number 3. He's been married to his wife Erin for 20 years, and his sons Anthony, Dominic, Giovanni, and Luca are here. And he will be pinned by his son Dominic. We're going to try on this one. All right, so firefighter paramedic Austin Galvan worked as a paramedic at Sequoia Safety Council prior to attending his fire academy. He is just starting his fire service career. So this is what they look like before 30 years of getting beat up. He is joined by his wife of 5 years, Marissa, and sons Austin Jackson Levi and daughter Leilani. He's our newest firefighter. He's assigned to the relief shift, so he works all 3 stations, and he will be pinned by his son Jackson. Good job, buddy. Please join me in welcoming our newest Yucaipa firefighters and our most recent promotions. Thank you. Yep. So
Can we get a picture?
I'll bring them all down for
Yeah.
a picture. Yep, family too. That's your cue.
Come on up. Hi guys, how we doing? Hi. Come on up. Guys, you guys are up here. Yeah. We'll be in the back. Squat down. No, you're good.
Councilwoman Wolfley, you're probably going to be on the
Look at this, not gray yet, you know, young guy.
You're a gentleman.
Yes. We have a couple comments here, so, Bob?
Well, congratulations on the promotions and our new badging. Jackson, you did a great job pinning your dad, and I know it was hard to do. You know, in your career of public safety, this is like one of the most significant moments when you get your badge. So enjoy it. Enjoy your dark black hair until you get a little older, and it'll be gray once you work for a while. And congratulations to the captain and his partner also. Thank you for what you guys do. I know it's hard duty. I don't know if you're going to make your newest person do all the cooking now, but you'll always do a good job. But congratulations. These are moments you'll remember, and you shared them with your family. That's the best part. Congratulations.
Joseph?
So I'm sure I speak for my colleagues up here. You are supported in this community. We recognize that there's more work to be done relative to getting you heroes the support you need by way of resources. You have my commitment to continue working towards that. I said I was going to have those uncomfortable conversations and asking our fire chief to remind us just how little sleep, especially Station 3, but all of our stations get every night. We're asking you guys to do more than other fire stations of similar sized cities. We see that, and again, you have my commitment. We're going to keep on talking about it until it gets fixed. So thank you.
John?
Just want to say congratulations, and like my colleague stated, we do support you, but it's also good to see that you have your family units here supporting you as well, so congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you guys for everything you do. My cousin, you guys played against the Challengers on Saturday. You guys got beat real bad, but I mean, it was okay. It was all right, but I appreciate everything you guys do for our city. Thank you. Okay, next, we're going to declare April as Child Abuse Prevention Month, and Deputy Beaver is going to read the proclamation.
Proclamation of the City of Yucaipa declaring April 2026 Child Abuse Prevention Month. Whereas April 2026 has been proclaimed Child Abuse Prevention Month by the state and federal government for the purpose of promoting community involvement in preventing child abuse. All children have the right to receive the care, protection, and guidance a family provides. They have the right to be free from harm and to have their physical, emotional, and educational needs met. And whereas just over 30,000 children in San Bernardino County were referred in 2025 to the Children and Family Services for suspected child abuse, Children's Assessment Center staff, Children and Family Services and social workers, public health nurses, law enforcement officers, educators, behavioral health clinicians, and others in the field are dedicated, compassionate, and skilled individuals working under the enormous pressure to protect children. The prevention of child abuse requires rigorous solutions, energy, strength, determination, and commitment on the part of concerned citizens and the community. And whereas protective factors are conditions that reduce or eliminate risk and promote the social, emotional, and developmental well-being of children. And whereas effective child abuse prevention activities succeed because the partnerships created between the Children's Network and Children's Fund in partnership with the Children and Family Services, Department of Public Health, First Five San Bernardino, Community Action Partnership, County Superintendent of Schools, Sheriff's Department, Child Care Planning Council, Department of Behavioral Health, Preschool Services Department, County Library, Arrowhead Regional Medical Center, Children's Assessment Center, Loma Linda University Children's Hospital, and County Fire Department. And whereas the blue ribbon is the international symbol for child abuse prevention, the Children's Network has planned a blue ribbon media campaign, educational materials distribution, and the 27th annual Shine a Light on Child Abuse Prevention Award ceremony to increase awareness of child abuse during the month of April. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the City Council of the City of Yucaipa, California, do hereby recognize April 2026 as Child Abuse Prevention Month and encourage residents to participate in the events and join in the efforts to end child abuse. The seal of the City of Yucaipa is affixed, as is the signatures of the City Council.
Thank you, Deputy. Mayor. All right, now to public safety. We got the police.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Here's your February 2026 Public Safety Report. For calls for service, we maintained about a 4,000 calls for service in February. We maintained a 4-minute average response time to emergency calls, and peak call times are Sunday through Tuesday afternoons. For Part 1 crimes, we had 0 homicides, rapes, or robberies. We had 23 aggravated assaults, 6 burglaries, 22 larcenies, 4 vehicle thefts, and 0 arsons. For arrests, we maintained about our average 67 arrests in February. 51 were adult bookings into one of our correctional facilities. Most common arrests were narcotic-related offenses, warrant arrests, trespass offenses, and domestic violence incidents. For traffic enforcement, we had a jump in traffic citations. 267 citations were issued in the month of January, and 34 traffic accident investigations. We had 13 DUI arrests in February as well. For your traffic stats, we had 24 non-injury TCs, 8 minor injury TCs, 0 major or fatal injury TCs, and 2 DUI TCs, for a total of 34. The solution-oriented policing team had 33 transient calls for service, 13 complaints or tips via the Yucaipa app, 2 subjects accepted assistance information, and 1 placement, 60-plus park patrols and vacant property checks, and continued collaboration with local business owners and managers with 8 new letters of agency. We're missing one slide here, but so for our SOP, or actually this is our case highlight of the month, SOP conducted a warrant service in conjunction with the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department Gangs and Narcotics Division on Tuesday, February 17th, 2026. They served a search warrant in the 13100 block of Maplewood Drive in Yucaipa. The warrant service stemmed from an investigation involving the sale of illegal narcotics and the unlawful possession of firearms. During the search, investigators located multiple firearms, ammunition, suspected illegal drugs, and explosive devices inside the home. Investigators from the Bombs and Arson Division, along with federal agents from the FBI and ATF, responded to the scene to assist in the investigation. After examining the devices, personnel safely rendered the items inoperable and removed them for proper disposal. At the conclusion of the investigation, deputies arrested 3 male adults at the location, including the homeowner, for multiple felony violations. 2 of the 3 arrested have since posted bail and were released from custody, and the case is being submitted to the federal prosecutor for review. Any questions?
Great job.
Thank you, sir.
Any questions?
Thank you, Chief, for the report. And I wonder if you could explain to our viewing audience and our audience again what the importance of the SOP team is when you're holistically looking at trying to reduce crime. What does the SOP team do for us?
So the SOP team is a proactive team. So instead of responding to calls for service, they're out there looking for problems in the community. Their specific goal when they were initiated were to address the homeless issue. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I know it was significant from what memory serves, is that they drove down the homeless population in the city. Other than that, they also, like this case highlights, they will get various information from either WeTips or just contacting the community, and they develop leads. And in this case, they worked in conjunction with the gangs team from Narcotics Gang Division, and they developed enough information to get probable cause for a search warrant and went to that house to serve it.
Thank you, Chief. And I probably tell you this way too much, but I don't want to jinx it, but we have an extremely low crime rate based on what I've seen with cities of similar size and experience. And your troops are doing a great job. It's a credit to your staff. It's a credit to handling things and being proactive. But of course, I don't want to jinx it. In the next month, we go up a little bit. It could happen, but I think the fact that we're proactive in this department, and you've got a good feel for the department now. You've been here a while, Chief. I think you're doing an outstanding job. You and your lieutenant,
Thank you.
holding people accountable and getting the job done. Thanks for what you do. I really do appreciate it, just as we do our fire department. We're lucky to have the public safety we have, quite frankly, and thank you for what you do.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Chief?
Good evening again. be our report for February. In February, we ran 590 calls for service, with Station 3 being our busiest station as normal. Some significant incident fires we had was off Daffodil Lane there. We also used our fire line paramedics. We are doing a prescribed burn up in Inyo County, which is still us, but we sent them up there for some fire line paramedic overhead and get some fire line qualifications for our staff. Partnering with one of our 2026 EMS goals and objectives with our doctor is to do more auditing of ourselves. So we did some field care audits with Redlands Community Hospital on our paramedic calls, keep us honest in how we can improve. We also did the department physical fitness assessments, and then ran all of our company officers through command scenarios. So running the call as essentially the battalion chief without relief, and how are they going to go through that call and run that call. We do have our law and public safety, and if you look behind you, yes, they're not getting younger. Those are teenagers, so they're high school students riding out. They get to ride out during their school breaks. And then we did do some EMT recertification with our SED folks here locally. We didn't host it, but we hosted our CAL FIRE EMS coordinators workshop. That is our medical director, Dr. Dukes. So we attended that, and then we attended the Cal Chiefs Technology Summit out of Esri, and there's just, I'm sure the law enforcement side's the same, but there's just crazy, if there's a concept, people are already working on something. There's some crazy technology stuff out there. We'll probably all be robots pretty soon. So the one thing we hadn't sent to you on purpose because I wanted to present it tonight is North Bench Yucaipa was awarded their Firewise community status. So that's our 4th Firewise community. And then we're working on Oak Glen, which is part of the Yucaipa Fire Department sphere of influence, for our 5th. And then we'll know July 1st if the entire city is in a risk reduction community status. So I'm sure we will be granted that off my Board of Forestry application. And then we just heard back from the fair share people, there's been a change in the regulation where you can stack this with risk reduction community. So you'll get 2 risk reduction community insurance discounts.
That's great.
And that's kind of it encompasses basically the whole North Bench, north of Oak Glen Road. And yes, we would advocate for those folks on the other side of Oak Glen Road to start the process thing, reach out to us. That's all I have for you, unless you have any other questions.
Bob?
No questions. Thank you, sir. No questions. Just wanted to point out, like I said, I would. Every station's busy. I can see that, but we're going to focus on Station 3 again. 265 calls for service in a 28-day month. That's 9.4 calls for service in a 24-hour period. Divide that down. That's 1 call every 2.5 hours, which means they're not getting sleep.
That's slow, because they're normally close to 400.
And I recognize that. But even on this one, what's the shortest call you got? I mean, the quickest medical aid you guys can go to. You're in and out.
30 minutes.
Okay, so you go back home, or go back to the firehouse. By the time you close your eyes, you're getting toned out for another call.
I'm going to pull next stats for you, like a sample, a 3-day August sample, not anything crazy, just a normal 3-day sample, where it's more like 16 calls every single day to kind of give you a snippet, but break it down by, like, yeah, you're not sleeping. You're,
like I said, I've said this before. It's just unacceptable at this point. We have to do better, because we're not asking these guys to wake up and calculate numbers in a sterile environment. We're asking them to respond to very active scenes with very real hazards to save very real Yucaipa lives, and we're asking them to do it with no sleep. So when you start breaking down that statistic relative to being tired and equating to a similar to being under the influence of alcohol. So I mean, your reaction time is slower, your decision making is questionable, and we're okay with that, except for we're not, and we have to do better. So as we get closer to our budget year, I'm going to harp on this more, and we have to fund more resources to our firefighters because lives are on the line. Thank you, Chief.
thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor and Mayor. There is a similar argument to make to what Deputy Mayor was talking about. I know when the officers go on 312s and then have court, long days, a lot of coverage, a lot of officers, a lot of calls they have to respond to afterwards. And no doubt you guys work hard. The only thing I would ask, and I asked the city manager this already, is when you bring your stats back, show comparables of like cities, including city police, city fire departments, and your county fire departments, if you want to use them as comparable to, and CAL FIRE, to make the case of calls for service of similar like cities. Now, every city's not the same.
No.
We have our own uniqueness, so we're next to a mountain up here. I agree with the Deputy Mayor. We want to get to people as quick as we can. I know you guys do. You do your best. I've seen you in action. Very proud of you. But let's have comparables. So when we start making these decisions that we're questioning Mr. White on, our finance director, can we afford this? Phil knows this is coming. Can we afford staff increase? Let's have some data to support that. So the city manager may hit you up on that. I've already asked him to do that. So you'll do a fine job doing that. But we do support you guys. You do a great job.
We've started pulling some of the stats, so I would anecdotally, I can pretty much guarantee you we're going to be running 1,000 calls more per engine than our comparisons.
Hey,
Yeah.
you probably made the case. Let's just take a look at it.
Absolutely.
That'd be great. Thank you. It helps our decision-making, Grant. Thank you, Chief.
Thanks, Bob. John? Judy? All right, thank you. All right, Trev? Code enforcement?
Evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. This week's actually going to be newly promoted Code Enforcement Supervisor Dinah Serrano giving the stats.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. All right, today I have the code enforcement stats for the month of February. We had 22 new cases submitted for this month, 10 of which were resolved by the end of the month. Some of the top cases include excessive vegetation, trash and debris, graffiti, and inoperable vehicles. We had 30 inspections conducted this month. A total of 38 cases were closed out. $10,890 were received in citation fees. There were 2 new cases opened at a mobile home park and 2 inspections conducted at a poultry ranch with no violations found. Just a quick case highlight here. This property on 6th Street was approved for receivership by council late last year. Obviously, it's a attractive nuisance, unsecured trash, broken windows, attracted vagrants, drug activity. Earlier this year, the judge appointed a receiver, and this is how it looks like now. It's boarded up, the exterior is cleaned up. He is working on bids to begin the rehab of the property. So it's looking good. And that's it for me. Any questions?
Bob?
Yeah, just comment and or question. Thank you for what you do. We appreciate it. I mean, the very core of community policing model is that you deal with the blight issues, et cetera. So good job on that. And congratulations on your promotion. Well
Thank you,
deserved. The only thing I would ask is, are most of our calls complaint driven from either the app or complaints in the city, or do we do proactive enforcement also? Because my assumption is looking over the city, we have a lot of older things that have been here for many years that probably need to be addressed. Don't know if we have the staff to do that. But where do you primarily find your calls for service coming from, or complaints, and then how you investigate them?
Currently, it's more reactive enforcement. I'm working on pushing more proactive enforcement. Obviously, when it's fully staffed, we're going to work on that. This case was actually a SOP team case when I first started working here. So with a full staff, we're going to be able to push more proactive enforcement.
Thank you for what you do, and I know it can be a lot of people don't like you seeing come to their door because you're probably going to give them some bad news and they need to clean something up. But I think you're trying to mitigate it where you're trying to get compliance first, and then if we don't get compliance, then we use the law appropriately to get compliance. And that's just the way America works sometimes. So, but you guys do a great job at that, and thanks for what you do.
Thank you so much.
Deputy?
Congratulations on your promotion.
Thank you.
John?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
On the, I heard from one of the ladies from Vaughn's, and I hear that it's getting better. So I thank you guys for that. So, thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Yucaipa Mobile.
Thank you. Mayor, members of the council, this is your monthly usage report for the Yucaipa mobile app for February 2026. We had a total of 197 monthly users and issues reported, and our top issue was streets. We saw a decrease from the month of January. We went from 284 to 197, both in the total monthly users and the total issues submitted, and just a slight increase in the most commonly reported issues. Our top issue was streets with 74 issues reported. Code enforcement came in second with 51 issues reported, and traffic calming came in third with 23 issues reported. Here's the breakdown for streets city issues. We had 25 pothole requests. We had 14 other, 13 for weeds overgrowth, 11 for illegal dumping, 7 for signs, and 4 for sidewalks. Our response times, just over 3 days for street city issues, just over 5 days for code enforcement issues, and 1.6 days for traffic calming. That concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Bob? Anybody? All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
So is there any public comment?
We do have public comment. We will start with Mr. Richard Frost. Richard Frost, followed by Hanson Wong, please.
Richard Frost, Yucaipa. Yeah, there was I found somebody's cat one time. It was loose recently, and I returned it to them. It was a shop cat, and they lived in back and everything. And so I wrote about it online, and somebody commented, I guess locally, that I shouldn't have given back the cat because a shop is no place for a cat, but it was well taken care of and everything. And I found that on the internet, people are bragging about stealing people's pets because they don't think they're being taken care of right. And they say, well, the government's too slow, so they're just going to take the animal. And a lot of people have animals that disappear in that, and then sometimes a few of them have gotten arrested and they brag about it. And so, I guess some people have the feeling that they can make a determination that the animal shouldn't be there, and they can take the animal, because you see a lot of lost pet signs and all that, so you never know, so it's good to, if you have an animal, any kind of pet, just kind of make sure you know where they are and that kind of thing, so.
Hanson Wong, followed by Pastor Randy Balling.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me to speak. Hanson Wong, District 1, Yucaipa. So, first of all, I want to congratulate the people who got recognized from CAL FIRE and want to thank them for what they do for our community. Second, Saturday, April 25, Run for the Hills. If I'm to make it, it'll be a slow walk, but I'm going to try. It's presented by Blue Zone Health and our Healthy Yucaipa. And try and register early if you're going to actually walk or run, and so on. This month is closing up Women's Month. I want to recognize the women in our community. We've had multiple women, including currently on our city council, and they show the leadership that we need, although a lot of times the women are also leading from behind a lot of us. In addition, there are women on the staff that show innovation to try and accommodate what needs to be done for the city. There are also many women that are in our businesses in town, and some that lead some of our business communities as well. But most of all, I like to honor the women who are the mothers and wives to support us. And so all of them should be recognized this month. I think that recognizing Child Abuse Prevention Month next month is very important. It's something that, again, should be supported like you are by the city. And before the youth committee meeting, I'll mention some things that are happening that I think the youth themselves are supporting themselves. And one of the aspects of mental health is prevention of abuse. So thank you for your time and your work.
Thank you. Thank you for your involvement in Yucaipa.
Pastor Randy Balling, followed by Robin Jensen.
Well, good evening, Mayor Venable and members of the City Council and other city leaders. I'm coming here to give you some good news. I've got a quick but encouraging update on what's happening around our community with Love Yucaipa and Calamasa. Right now, we have 19 active service projects listed on loveyucaipa.com. That represents about 300 volunteer opportunities across our two cities. These projects reflect real practical needs in our city, such as beautifying parks like the 7th Street Park and 4th Street Park, supporting our schools through Yucaipa High School cleanup and beautification efforts, serving seniors through various mobile home community projects. That's a new addition this year, several mobile home projects in the works. Partnering with YAPS through a shoe drive and memorial garden, and even building community spaces like the ILCS Gaga Ball Pit paint job. What's exciting is it's not just the number of projects, but the diversity of our impact. We're seeing people serve students and families and seniors, and of course the local animal shelter. It's one coordinated effort, and behind all of it is something that's very, very powerful to all of us: unity. Churches, nonprofits, schools, businesses, our first responders, city leadership, everybody's coming together for Love Yucaipa Calamasa, and we're loving our cities by serving our cities. It's awesome. I just want to remind you, our kickoff event's going to be at 8 a.m. at the Yucaipa Community Park on Oakland Road. It's really shaping up to be a very special moment for our cities, and participation's going to include hopefully some of you at a rally. Calamasa leadership has committed first responder vehicles on display from both cities, including the ladder truck from Calamasa with the big flag draped over it again. I want to thank our chief for his participation and our first responders. We'll have another high-energy kickoff event. We've got the Yucaipa High School cheer team all ready to go to create that cheer tunnel for us. Also, we have free breakfast for all of our volunteers, including free pancake breakfast and, drum roll, mini cinnamon streusel from Clarky's Diner. They are generously donating their 300 mini streusels, and so that was just great news. We also will be washing all that food down with a generous donation from White Rabbit Coffee. We're excited about also a donation from San Diego Growers. This is an opportunity for our city. They provide Home Depots and Lowe's. They'd like to make a generous donation of plants and bushes. So if you want to get a hold of me about that, we're ready to go. Just let me know. At the heart of this is a simple belief: when people come together to serve, it strengthens the fabric of our city. It builds pride, it builds relationships, it reminds us of what's possible when we work together. And we would be honored to have each of you join us at our rally and back up a project if you can. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Robin Jensen.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor and Council members. I am Robin Jensen, the chairperson of Healthy Yucaipa Committee, and I would like to give you an update of our walking group. We had about 13 people this past week, and what I was most happy about is we were able to connect with 3 additional people just by meeting these people in the park. And the feedback that I got is what I wanted to share. They were so excited to see that the city is interested in them on this minor level of just getting together and connecting. And they had a lot of positive feedback. So they wanted, one lady was like, "Can you please tell the city, thank you for organizing this?" So I wanted to pass that on. And secondly, we are adding an additional walk day, which will be Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. because we have people who can't make it on Saturday mornings at 8:30. So that will start April 7th. So that's kind of fun. And we have flyers that we are taking around, and we're going to be putting them up in businesses to hope get more people out and interested. And we have a few other projects coming up that we hope to encourage more healthy choices here in Yucaipa. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
We have no more comments.
All right. Now, does anybody have any conflicts or disclosures? Anybody?
Mr. Mayor, I'm going to recuse myself from item number 6 because it involves the grant for the police station, which As you know, the law enforcement services that we use is through the sheriff's department, same employer as mine.
Okay. All right. Now on to the consent agenda. 1 through 6, is there anybody that?
Move to approve 1 through 6.
Seconded.
We got a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, item number 7. Miss Valdepina. See, I got it right.
Yes, sir.
I've been
Good evening,
practicing that
Mayor.
for a while.
Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, and City Council. It is my distinct honor to be present this evening to introduce Arush Vidakota and his recommended appointment on the Youth Advisory Committee. And between the two of us, he is the rock star part of our presentation, so I'm just going to introduce him to come on up and say a few words.
Good evening, Mayor and the council members. My name is Arush Vidakota, and I am a freshman at Yucaipa High School. I have a 4.0 GPA. I play travel basketball. I volunteer at the local library, and I am in the Solar Book Club at my school. I want to join the Youth Advisory Committee so that I can help as many people as I can. As a kid, I wanted to help everybody in any way possible. I would do things as little as picking up trash around my school and community, to fundraising and help events at my middle school. As a teen, I want to carry that same generosity as I had as a kid to my current life. And I believe that joining this committee can help me with that and help me pursue my goal of helping everyone in any way possible. And that's it.
That's awesome.
That concludes our presentation, unless you have any questions for either of us.
Any questions?
I have some questions for you, sir. Every time Sarah brings youth advisory appointees, I'm just absolutely inspired. I've read your application a few times this week after I received it. Selfless. That's the word that I can best describe your application. You're a selfless human being who wants better for others. And that is commendable. Our world would be such a better place if more people had that mindset. So, but I have to ask, what's your goal? What's your long-term goal? Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Honestly, I can't really answer that, but I want to keep, in 10 years, in 20, 30, I want to keep myself the same as I am, always helping others, always being there for friends, family. That's my main goal for the next future.
Do you have folks here with you?
Oh, my mom actually had to go to her own meeting, so it's just me.
Well, pull up this later on YouTube. Show her the comments. She's done a phenomenal job of raising such a responsible and respectful young man. Thank you for your willingness to volunteer and be more engaged part of our community.
Thank you.
Bob?
No, I think it's awesome. You got a great start to whatever you plan on doing. Just make good choices, right? That's what it's all about. So congratulations. I think you're gonna no problem getting approved. So way to go.
Thank you.
Don?
My colleagues explained it best. I think you're selfless and you seem very humble. Keep that, and you will make this a better place.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations if you get elected here, which I think, or appointed, which I think you will. And I know you'll do good things.
That's one of the funnest committees that I get to go to all the time. And so these kids are full of energy. Trevor's been to one of the meetings. His son was in it for a long time and stuff, and just full of energy. And I welcome you with open arms and thank you. Thank you, thank you. And I think we have public comment on this one.
We do. Hanson Wong, please.
You were going to tell me when your next meeting was.
These kids are amazing.
Yes.
Absolutely amazing. The organization that they have, the willingness of doing things for each other as well as for the community. And when they present somebody to you, it's somebody, sometimes they recruit them, they vet them, they talk to them, they encourage them, so they bring you the best of the best. So I would encourage you to vote this person in because I think he would be a great addition. I want to add something about the committee as well. They have worked out helping the school have a mental health week. And they're actually going to bring something every day. And the Healthy Yucaipa is going to participate in one of the days. But it's something amazing that they think of their own community, their high school, the kids, and they look at what is needed. They're willing to support them. You know, sometimes we leave things to our insurance companies and the doctors and so on. But sometimes it's not enough. In addition, there are some kids and families that don't have insurance, and they really need the support. And when they support each other like this, I think it's some of the greatest things in the world. So I hope you support the Youth Advisory Committee and the things they do at the school as well. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
No further comments, Mayor.
Thank you. Well, I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
All right. We got a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Welcome.
Congratulations.
Can we get a picture with you here?
You're even taller than me.
And so well dressed.
I know.
Did this himself. One, two, three. Got it. Thank you.
Thank you again.
Nice to see you. Thank you.
Next, we have Mr. Phil White.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 8 is a receive and file of the Annual Comprehensive Financial Report, the ACFR. The ACFR is audited every year. Components of the ACFR are audited each year. Our fiscal year, the city's fiscal year, spans from July 1st to the subsequent June 30th every year. And this is a unique item in that roughly 90% of the financial information that City Council receives is tied to a budget. We're talking lots about budget. It makes sense because cities are in the service delivery business. And so all that service delivery and the service levels are based on budgeted items, so budgeted programming. The ACFR is unique in that 90% of what's inside the ACFR is based on actual results, not budget, actual results. And so it's a very useful tool. It kind of closes the picture of budgets are for planning purposes. After the spending plan is executed, we wrap it all up with the audited financial statements, the ACFR, and this kind of puts a bow on what happened. So it's a trailing document. This particular one that was just issued is for the year ended June 30th, 2025. But it is one of several financial documents, and as you look at all of them, they collectively provide a complete picture of the city's financial situations. This is good for we're entering budget season, so you can see actual results, what it actually takes to deliver services, and it gives us great data, great information to make future decisions on programming. We know what it's going to cost. And council can say, we want to ramp this up, we want to ratchet this down, make all those decisions based on actual financial data. So jumping right into it, there's a lot of components of the ACFR, a lot of different sets of financial statements. The basis of accounting is unique to each one. We'll walk through a couple of what I think are the most key. The entire document, 150-page document, is fantastic. It's a fantastic read, but we'll highlight just a couple of pages here. This is a page out of our management's discussion and analysis, and what this is showing is the balance sheet called the Statement of Net Position, and this is a comparative presentation. We have 2 years of information. A couple of things that I did want to highlight at the top: total assets of $270 million in 2025. That relates to the previous year of $264 million, so we added $6 million of assets. Those are just broken out into current and other. Cash investments are current. Capital assets are not current, so that's the two components. Jumping down to current liabilities and long-term liabilities, total liabilities in 2025 were about $24 million, down from $25 million the previous year. And then that net position, that's the equity, that's what we call equity. $248 million of equity citywide. This is everything smashed together. It's not fund by fund. This is everything citywide. And $250 million or $248 million sounds like a ton of money. It is. There's three different components of equity. One is net investments in capital assets, and there's $198 million of equity tied into capital assets. It's not liquid. It's the streets, roads, infrastructure, things that the city owns, the undepreciated amount of vehicles. We talked about some vehicles recently that were fully depreciated. That's all wrapped into the $198 million. And so that's not cash that can be spent. That's the book value of the infrastructure of Yucaipa. The restricted net position is restricted for use. And so we can't use it on anything. We have to use it in accordance with whatever the restriction is on that. And then the unrestricted is free for city council to direct to use in the future. So those are the three components: $38 million of unrestricted net position compared to $34 million last year. So we increased unrestricted net position, which is a fantastic thing, something that we're always looking to do. This is the income statement, full accrual income statement. And this is, I think, for the city of Yucaipa, my favorite page in the ACFR. This is on page 14 of the ACFR, and I've highlighted a couple of things. And this is, again, the income statement, so it shows revenues and expenses. And the presentation for municipalities is by function, by service line. And this gives you a great indication of what it costs to deliver services. And we're always wondering, okay, this activity, how much did it cost? How much did we get in producing that? And what was the net cost to the city? So working across the top, we have the different service lines or functions. So general government, community development, building and safety, public works, public safety, and community services. That general government is administration. So the city manager's office, the city clerk's office, finance, the city council has its own office or department in our general ledger. All of those costs are captured there under that expense column. And you can see what the gross expense is by those functions. The next three in that green box are program revenues, revenues associated with that activity. And so you can pick out whatever expense function you want, and you can say, okay, it costs, this is how much we spent on performing that or delivering that service. These are the revenues associated with that. And then you work all the way to the right where it says governmental activities, and that is the net cost. And you've heard me say the city is focused on service delivery, not making a profit. And that shows up right here on the right. Everything has brackets. Everything that we do costs. There's a net cost to it. So the more that we do, the more we're net costing the citizens of the community. And so you can see on the right, the net cost for each type of activity. This is a great tool, graphic. This is based on actual numbers. This is an audited statement, which means a third party, an external auditor has placed their opinion on this, saying it's fairly stated. And so you can go pick your function and say, okay, how much do we spend on it? How much do we make on it? And then instead of saying, hey, Phil, can we afford it? You can say, this is what it costs. This is how much we have. This is what I think we should spend our money on. And this is where I'm going to tell staff, hey, let's focus here and spend the community's money this way. So you'll see at the bottom, right in the middle there, where it has brackets, and it's $29.8 million. That's the net cost for all of the services provided citywide. And then you say, okay, that's a negative $30 million. How did we pay for that? And the way that we paid for it is called general revenues, unrestricted money. Measure S we talked about is unrestricted. It's down there under sales and use tax, property tax, franchise fees. All of those are all unrestricted. We can spend it however we want. And so we collected $36.4 million unrestricted money. So we paid for our net cost of $30 million with $36 million of unrestricted revenues to give us a change in equity of a positive $6.6 million. And then at the very bottom, that net position is back up to the balance sheet, $248 million. I think that this is a fantastic one for data to understand, okay, this is what it costs the city to deliver this type of service. This is where we're gonna get the best bang for the buck. And this is what I'm gonna have staff focus on, prioritize in the, I was gonna say upcoming budget, but we're right in the thick of it right now in the budget that we're in today. All right, so that's the full, everything put together citywide. We also have a set of financial statements that breaks it down by funds, general fund, public safety fund, the DIF fund that we've talked a lot about, and then I grouped everything else as other governmental funds, everything together for a total. This is extremely helpful because this is how we budget. These are the buckets that we budget in. A couple of things to highlight on the governmental funds balance sheet. One is that we're always trying to protect the unassigned fund balance, unassigned equity in the general fund. And in fiscal 25, we added $4.4 million to that unassigned fund balance number down there at the bottom left. We're always monitoring total fund balance of all funds. And so you can see that total fund balance is $55 million across the board. That's an increase of $3.6 million citywide. We're always monitoring our cash and investment balances. We added $2.9 million in cash across all funds. The interfund of the DIF balances, that DIF fund right in the middle, that equity number is a $15 million deficit equity. And we've talked about that interfund balance. That $15 million is actually an increase of $5 million this year, which is a good increase, but we still are in the whole $15 million just for that bucket. A couple other things that are significant on this page. One is that public safety fund. From a financial reporting standpoint, this is the first time that you see that broken out separately. We've talked a lot about that in the budget process, but in the financial reporting process, this is the first time you'll see it broken out separately. And there is a $4.5 million loan receivable in that other governmental funds column under other assets. It's $7 million. Included in that $7 million is a $4.5 million loan that you are familiar with. All right, jumping over to the income statement for the fund at the fund level. Again, this is revenues and expenditures by fund, and then that other financing source is transfers, interfund transfers. A couple things to highlight on this quickly. One is the general fund decrease down at the bottom there in bold. We decreased fund balance, decreased equity in the general fund by $2.4 million in 2025. If you remember, going back to the budget for fiscal 25, we were still in a budgetary deficit. And when we adopted the budget, City Council adopted a budget with a $4.4 million deficit in it. Actual results were a $2.4 million deficit as it played out. The Public Safety Fund is new. We added $500,000 in equity to the Public Safety Fund. Most of that equity is related to the Fire Fund. There's the DIF bucket with $6 million adding to it. Again, it brought it to a negative $15 million fund balance. And overall on the bottom right, about $3.6 million increased at the fund level for equity. Those are all great results. we do have a couple of things, including the DIF loan, that we need to continue to monitor. But it's a fantastic result with things to continue to monitor. The ACFR includes footnote disclosures. All of the footnote disclosures are important information. I did highlight 6 of them here. One is the summary of significant accounting policies. It just says this is how the city of Yucaipa accounts for everything, but it's a key thing to understand as part of the ACFR. There's a lot of detail in our investment portfolio. All of it is disclosed, starting on page 34, footnote 2. Interfund activity, including the DIF loans, are footnote 3 on page 38. The loan receivable that I talked about is in 2 places. One, there's a footnote on page 39. There's also a contingency footnote on page 54 of that. And then fund balance, all the different classifications are on page 51. All of them are very exciting, really good information, key things that happened in fiscal 25 for the city of Yucaipa. I mentioned that this is an audited financial statement. This is the language that's included in the ACFR. This is the opinion from the external auditors. This is a clean audit opinion, an unmodified opinion. And what this says is that we reported things, the way we reported things is fairly stated in their opinion. That's a minimum level. The minimum of what we're going for is a clean audit opinion. If we have anything but a clean audit opinion, we have significant issues. This is indicative of a clean audit opinion. We did add a couple years ago. We put in above the minimum. We went above and beyond the minimum, and we did participate in the GFOA award program. We did receive that award for fiscal year 24. That's included in the ACFR. This is a snippet of what that award looks like. Once the ACFR is completed, we send it out. They send it across the nation to different reviewers, and we hear back in about 6 months on whether we earned the award or not. We did for 24. 25 is out, and in 6 months, we anticipate getting the award again. And finally, as a reminder, the ACFR is based on actual results. The information is very useful to as a recap, closing the loop, and considering how we want to program funding for upcoming budgets. But it is not a budget document like you typically see. It's an audited set of financial statements based on actual results. And staff is available for questions if you have any, and this is a receive and file.
All right. Bob?
Yeah, I just want to compliment Phil and Mr. White and your staff on it's not just a clean audit, it's a really good audit, if you say, based on the parameters involved. And in fact, I think, as stated on 138 of the document you gave us, they said they believe this annual comprehensive financial report meets the standards that have been submitted for consideration for the award again, and I'm sure you'll get it. Good work. There's another statement about they appreciate the City Council's support and oversight of the Yucaipa's finances. I know that's been a focus for this council. Special thanks to the Finance Department for their diligence in providing accurate financial information, and that's the key. So I want our citizens to feel confident that we're on top of it. We're audited by a third party. And specifically on page 135, where it states that the firm that did, that's an independent firm of public accounts, reviewed the city's financial statements and its internal controls, has issued the opinion, and excellent job, it says. And I think just continue along what you're doing as we get ready to go into budget talk. This is a good time to have the audit brought in the public so people can see that there are checks and balances when third parties look at things for us, not just what we say or promote. I think we've done a good, as a council, trying to get on top of finances. But as we move forward, I still think we need to have a strong financial strategic plan, as I said before. That needs to be part of what we do, so we know how we'll spend our money and what that will look like in the future, that I'm sure the auditors would look at. And you said the old terms. I heard buckets out of you again, and I don't know. Buckets. We got to come up with another word. I know our assistant city manager, former finance director Greg Franklin's in the back, and we had a lot of talk about buckets when I came on board. So maybe we'll chat about that at some point. But I really appreciate the work you guys are doing, the direction of your city manager, and just keep it up. It's a good report. It's not just average, it's a good report, so thank you.
Deputy?
Thank you for the report. If you could go back to your slide, I believe it's the statement of,
Activities?
yes, that's the one. I wanted to clarify a point that was brought up there you go.
Yes, sir.
That was brought up to me this week, relative to Measure S. And I wanted to clarify something that I believe in a lot. In part, we have people from the Oversight Committee here with us. The sales and use and the general revenues, as you mentioned, that is our Measure S. And while you said theoretically we can use it for everyone we want to, we did make a commitment to the community that by way of a Civilian Oversight Committee, we would be expending that exclusively on public safety. And I think that's important to note. Councilman Miller just made the comment that a third-party oversight is what gave us a good review of our accounting and our finances. I believe in the work of our Measure S Oversight Committee, the reporting that they share back to us, and to ensure that every cent that we are generating through Measure S is being put back into the city as an investment into public safety. So the theoretical position, we can use it for whatever we want to. I think the practical approach that we've insisted on from this council is that by way of an oversight committee, we are expending that exclusively on our public safety to ensure a safe city. So, thank you.
John?
To echo my colleagues' comments, this is an excellent report. Good job well done. And I was excited to see that the diff fund total loan is going down. It's gone down quite a bit, so good job.
Thank you. If I may comment a little bit further on that, that is going down. That is on this page here, and it's under advances to other funds. If you go all the way across, $12.2 million. Last year it was, I believe, $19 million. So a significant drop. Part of it is the funding. Part of it is a write down of the amount to as far as a reconciliation of funding for, I believe, primarily the YPAC. And so, yes, it's going down significantly. We still have a significant dollar amount left to go, but yes, that is there.
At one point, that was something like 24 or 25, wasn't it?
We were in well into the 20s, yes.
That's what I thought. Good job.
Hi, Ms. Woolsey.
Okay. I don't know if this is for the attorney or for Mr. White, but 2 weeks ago, we filed the notice of default on the Coyman property. Have we received any indication that that's been received and filed with the county?
So the initial notice goes to the property owner.
Okay.
And we've not received any response back from them. I was actually speaking with Phil and the city manager about it today on our next steps. So we'll be getting the notice to the trustee to initiate the trustee sale, likely at the end of this week.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you, Phil. Next up is Ben Matlock.
Mayor, can we get a motion and second to receive and file that report,
I'm
please?
sorry. Can I get a motion to?
I'll make a motion to receive and file.
Second.
We got a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Honorable Mayor and City Council members. Happy to present the annual progress report. It's not quite as exciting as the financial reports, but it is still exciting in our planning world. So this is the annual progress report for whatever actions that the city planning kind of process went through for the year 2025. So what's the reason for doing the annual progress report? Well, it's required by law, so that's always an important reason why we do this. But it's also to help kind of provide information, so it's informing where we're at with the regional housing needs allocation arena, track our implementation of both the general plan and housing element, disclose kind of the activity that's occurring, and then also provides information to the state about general trends that they're seeing in terms of development through all the different communities. And it's also part of the enforcement arm of HCD. They look at the housing element as a contract between the state and the local jurisdiction. And so they're looking at what we're doing and going, hey, are you actually implementing your housing element like you said you would? Are you tracking the units that are built? Are you making sure it's all there? And so there's a lot of data that goes into the annual progress report. It is very unyielding. Just for members of the public, this is an example of some of the lines that we have to fill out for the annual progress report. in terms of data, it's a very heavy lift. We've done a lot internally to help make it much more manageable, but certainly a lot of data that the state is receiving from every city about what's going on. So just want to give kind of a quick kind of digest of our activity. So permit activity, 79 units had been built. We do have 110 units that were issued building permits in the past year. One thing to note is we had 39 ADUs. One of our housing element programs was that we at least see 25 ADUs being built and kind of permitted. So we're above that, which means that we don't have to make up for those units elsewhere, just because we were on track and doing a lot better than what the state was expecting us to do. We do have a few different things that we are seeing impact kind of overall activity. Certainly higher costs and interest rates impact kind of where the market is, both from a builder's perspective of what they can finance to start the construction, but certainly on the market end as well. If you're a home buyer and you're paying, higher prices for everything, higher interest, what you can purchase with your dollar is a little bit different as well. And then certainly some developers reference kind of the product options for market demand and making sure that what products are selling well are available to bring to market as well. And then kind of the overall RENA progress, since this is our kind of 8-year window of units that we're supposed to plan for. We had 2866 of what we were required to plan out as part of our housing element. We have not kept up necessarily with that. I don't think any city has. And so if we were to apply the remaining units, we would have to see about 502 units being built every year in order to kind of make the progress that would need to be made with that. City doesn't actually need to build them. We're not home builders. The developers are. But it does leave opportunities for other kind of streamlining state law stuff like SB 35 to come into effect. And then as part of our housing element, we do have 34 different programs. Some are ongoing and some have more defined timelines. And so those are identified on Table D of the housing element progress report. One of the programs that we are working on is a comprehensive development code update. We did adopt some amended provisions within the last year, and then we're going to continue to have more with it and trying to make sure that we're staying consistent with our adopted housing element. And then really, our general plan progress, we're very busy. We have a very small but mighty team, and so we are working on a number of different initiatives, including our efforts to modernize our development code and make the expectations for development where we do have discretion to have a high bar, so then that way we're ensuring quality development occurs and making sure that information is always readily available. And that concludes my presentation. Happy to answer any questions. And then this is just a receive and file.
Okay, John, you want to start us off? Yes. Anybody? Well,
I'll move approval for the receive and file.
I'll second for receiving file. Thank you, Ben.
all right, we got a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Now, we come to Miss Anna.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. Item number 10 for you tonight is the designation of a voting delegate and alternate for the Southern California Association of Governments 2026 Regional Conference and General Assembly. This year's conference is scheduled to be held on May 7th and 8th at the JW Marriott in Palm Desert. SCAG requests that each member city appoint a delegate and alternate to vote at the assembly. Currently, the only member of the City Council that is scheduled to attend this conference is Councilmember Woolsey, as she serves on the SCAG Community Economic and Human Development Policy Committee. That concludes my presentation. I turn it over to you for discussion.
All right, John?
I won't be able to attend due to work.
Okay.
Based on the event last year, Mr. Miller and I went, and I think maybe Bob would agree with me here. I know we need to appoint an alternate, but I don't really think it's necessary that the alternate would attend both days. The General Assembly, where the actual voting is done on the second morning. And my suggestion would be to nominate Chris as the alternate, because you are the alternate to the SBCTA. And you wouldn't need to be there unless you chose to, or if for some reason I couldn't attend for the voting event.
Okay.
So I would nominate Chris, the mayor.
Yeah, I agree with Councilmember Woosley. I won't be attending. I'll be out of town, but I think you guys would be great. Judy did a great job last year representing us. Seems to have the understanding of what they're doing. It was a really, they had a lot of people talking to you last year. So she's definitely got the end there. And then Mayor, if you would be the alternate, would be great. I would support that.
No objection.
All right, so we have a motion and we have a second?
Second.
Okay.
And confirming that is Councilmember Woolsey as the delegate and then yourself as the alternate?
Correct.
Correct, okay.
Do we need a roll call?
Just a consensus is fine.
Okay, so we have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, Anna, number 11.
Thank you, Mayor. Item number 11 tonight is the discussion of the Community Activity Grant Program guidelines, the funding levels for CAG, and funding for not-for-profit organizations for fiscal year 26-27. The Community Activity Grant Program was established in 2010. The program was implemented to support local organizations providing valuable services and programming, enhance accountability on enhance accountability on how the government funds were spent. The overall intent of the program was not to sustain local ongoing programs or services, but to supply the seed money to support new programs, services, and events in the community. The program is reviewed annually to determine continuation of the program, the guidelines, the funding levels, and the funding for the nonprofit organizations to be included in the draft budget. On March 9th, the CAG Ad Hoc Committee met, reviewed the options, and recommended the following. For fiscal year 26-27, the budget funding levels should remain the same. So that means $20,000 for financial grant requests and $40,000 for in-kind fee waiver requests. The financial awards will be distributed as a one-time payment, and the in-kind fee waivers may include waiving costs associated with city facility rentals, traffic management, or overtime for reassigned staff. They also recommended that the guidelines for fiscal year 26-27 remain the same. They also approved, they're proposing the nonprofit funding allocations for fiscal year 26-27 as outlined in your staff report. The last thing that the committee discussed was updating the application and making it more robust and requiring that the organizations provide stated goals and just some additional information that will help the council in your decision as to who to award. That concludes my presentation. Tonight, the recommendation is that the City Council approve the CAG Application Review Ad Hoc Committee's recommendation that the fiscal year 26-27 guidelines remain the same, that you approve the committee's recommendation to include $40,000 for in-kind fee waivers and $20,000 for financial requests, that you approve the committee's recommendation to include $40,000 for nonprofit organizations funding to be included in the budget, or to provide additional direction to staff. I'm available for any questions.
John?
I don't have any questions. Do we have any comments?
Any public comment?
We have no public comments on this item.
Okay, I would make the motion to support the recommendations as presented.
I'll second.
Bob? Any comment?
Yes, sir.
No comment? Okay, so we have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right.
Thank you, Mayor. And just some additional information. This will go out to the community, so the CAG cycle will open up on April 1st. It'll go through the end of April. We'll receive the applications, we'll review them with the ad hoc committee, and then this will come back to you the first meeting in June.
Okay. So any council member have any business reports or comments? Bob?
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to say that, thank you for the collegial atmosphere we've had lately. I think we're doing a good job trying to get some stuff done. I know we have budget coming, Phil, so, but I appreciate all the work you guys put into that. And Dr. Moore, I know it'll be a good discussion and vibrant on the new challenges we may have in funding some public safety issues that we want to do. So I think we front-loaded that a little bit already to you. I want to announce that I went to Leadership Day at Valley Elementary. It was great. Sarah and Megan from our staff were there, and observing these young leaders and these students that run the whole thing, and they're future leaders for our community. They were great at Valley. And I want to thank Mr. Rextat, the principal, did a great job welcoming us. And actually, Lena and Eric Cutta from Calamasa were there also, so I got to chat with them about the importance, because the Yucaipa School District covers Calamasa and City of Yucaipa, but it was really a great event, and it's always good to be there and see the kids running, and it didn't rain on them this year. That was awesome. Went to League of Cities event we had, along with the mayor and Councilmember Woosley. I think it was a pretty good event. We hosted it. Maybe you guys will talk about that, but I thought it went real well. And I just made an observation. I sent an email to the city manager. I was getting some menudo at my favorite Mexican restaurant up on the boulevard on a Sunday morning. And I saw one of our park rangers out there emptying trash, taking care of everything. So I went and talked to him, and I said, "Is this part of your duties?" And he had the most positive employee attitude. He says, "Hey, I got a lot of stuff we do. We just try to keep the city looking good and helping out with what we do as a park ranger." And I just thought, what a great example of an employee. He didn't know me. I just went up and said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And just positive. I really appreciated him. I sent the attaboy to the city manager to share with him. He did a really good job. And then, as we, enter into the budget realm that's coming, let's be cognizant. Looks pretty good, Phil, but we always need to be careful. If we don't have a strategic plan on how we're going to spend our money in the future, we've got to get to that agreement up here to direct you guys. And I think we'll do that this time. We're pretty focused on budget, and especially keeping that public safety fund, as Deputy Mayor said, separate, and what we want to spend that on. So we have some challenges ahead, but there's nothing we can't meet. Excellent report. I think the staff is working well together. Really appreciate it, and thanks for all the work you guys do.
All right, thank you, Bob. Deputy Mayor?
So when last we met, we discussed what could be an addition to the city by way of a Patriot Plaza and 250-year anniversary of our nation's independence. That was the first we had made a public agendized discussion on the matter, and it generated a lot of discussion in the community. I received a lot of positive feedback. I've received a lot of positive recommendations. So as we continue fundraising for this Patriot Plaza, there was some really good points that I hadn't considered about appearance and placement that I think would be prudent for us to discuss. I'm not sure if now is appropriate, as it wasn't agendized, or if we should request that you bring that back. But it was brought to my attention, and I certainly think it's worth mentioning as we talk about donning our community with such a big monument for our nation. Yeah. No, that was it.
I agree with the Deputy Mayor's positive outlook on doing this, but I also received some feedback from community members in my district, and it was about the size of the flag and what that really means and how are we going to do that. Do we have some of the models we can look at, on what that would look like? I understand the robustness of our beautiful country. Who's going to vote against the flag, right? But maybe a couple of different items that can come back to us. I think that's what the Deputy Mayor may be getting to. We hadn't talked about it. And just maybe some other options to look at. I know that's the feedback I got from my district was maybe it's a little too big, Bob. Can we look at something else? And I said, well, we'll be glad to talk about it, whatever we decide.
Yeah, sir. I just think a public discussion on the matter. The feedback I got was less on size as much it was proximity as size. So if you're going to keep it big, maybe move it away from the building. It would look odd next to a one-story building. So we have Tooker Park.
Flag Hill Park, maybe.
Well, that's maybe perhaps the city manager can make an announcement as his relative to Flag Hill Park. But anyway, if you could please bring back an agendized item so we can have a public discussion on the matter. It was exciting for me to hear so much feedback, but as it was just the brainchild of a few of us, now it was opened up to the community, and the feedback came in. So I think we should agendize it again as we continue our fundraising efforts.
Mayor, Council will have it back on the agenda for your reconsideration.
John?
Thank you for that, because I also received feedback as well, along the same lines that you had, maybe even some of the same individuals. But on a different note, when we had the app reviewed today about the different things people have reported, I didn't want to bring it up then because I didn't know, you probably wouldn't know this info now. But I saw on social media, and I drive by this just occasionally, Avenue H in California, the old Beaver Medical Center. I don't know if anybody put in for the weeds that are growing profusely inside the gate and outside the gate by the bus stop sign. I was going to do it and I neglected to get it in. So if that hasn't been submitted, city manager, could you direct someone to
We'll take
take
care
a
of it.
look at it? It's quite thick.
We'll take care of it.
Thank you, sir.
Well, I just realized 5 minutes ago that I forgot to do a report, but I think I got it all. On the 11th, there was the Sigma Water meeting, which was a very interesting meeting. On the 12th was the Metro Valley County meeting. On the 17th was the Yucaipa Valley Water District. And on the 19th was the California Cities Luncheon. And I want to thank the staff at the YPAC Center. It was very well put together, and the tables and everything. And I especially want to thank our secretary, Sherry, for the flowers. They were beautiful, and everybody was excited that when they got to take one home. One person said, "Oh, my wife's birthday is on Sunday," so he got to take her flowers and that type of thing. So thank you so much for helping us do that. And Dr. Moore was there, Bob was there, our mayor was able to come, and so we had a good representation. So thank you, council members, for doing that. I have a question for Anna. Is there a Measure S meeting this week?
The next meeting is scheduled for Thursday, April 2nd at 4 p.m.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, I did join them on League of Cities, and it was put on very well. We welcomed other cities to the best city in California, so they can get a feel for how the best city runs. So, but I did get to throw out the first pitch in the American League opener and stuff. That lady's knot on her head will go away, I promise. But no, but they did say that was the first strike in a long time. So, but we do have welcome our youth to the youth advisory. Do we have any more openings? One more opening. All right. So if you know anybody that would like to join, plus the.
Go ahead. I just have a question when you're.
Okay. And then we have one opening on Park and Recreation for youth. I think we have opening for Healthy Yucaipa, or is it?
We're still accepting applications for the vacancy on the Planning Commission. That will run through April 15th.
Okay. So, and then we have art festival, music and art festival coming up. We have the Turkey Trot coming up. Run for the Hills, yeah. Oh yeah, Turkey Trot. I'm still eating turkey. Run for the Hills, the rabbit, turkey, one of them. So.
What is the age limit for the youth advisor?
I think it's 8th grade.
14?
14, yeah.
Okay, and could they find the qualifications on site or something? I have someone in my neighborhood that might be interested.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Well, then we would love to meet with them. The age restriction is 14 to 20. They must either live or go to school here somewhere in Yucaipa.
Okay, even if it's homeschool?
Yes.
Okay.
And the application is available online, and all the requirements are listed. You don't have to dress as snazzy as our recent applicant, but they do meet with members within the committee, so there is a mini interview process.
It certainly
But we
helps.
walk them through everything.
Yeah.
To impress,
Yeah. So when would the application have to be in?
It's ongoing. It's open until
Ongoing.
filled.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. I think that's all I got. So then, Mr. City Manager, is there any announcements?
Yes, Mayor, Council, just one announcement. We did receive, for Flag Hill Veterans Memorial Park, one person that is interested in building the flag themselves, the pole, the stand, the base, and based on 120-foot tall, 60-foot wide flag. So staff's been working with this proposal. So we do have a full donation to the, on that for that.
That's fantastic.
For the park. We are still taking donations for the other flag out by City Hall. As I mentioned, we'll bring that before you because I've heard from a couple of council members that you guys are interested in bringing that back for reconsideration. So I'll have that back on the agenda.
And do you have that out on any social media that we're accepting donations? And it is a 501c3, right?
I believe so, yeah. It's Yucaipa Community Foundation, thank you.
Okay.
So
And
we
we
are
can get
looking
that
for
on
donations for the flag.
Facebook. Write that up, 501c3. People.
We'll take care of that.
All right. Next regular meeting will be Monday, April 13th, 2026 at 6 p.m. And time now is 7:34. I'll adjourn this meeting. Thank you.